Hey, people of the Most High God, profound joy to be with you once again. My name is Brother Joel, coming on board in opening up the mysteries of our faith. People of God, last time we were in a heavy discussion regarding God's cosmos, the universe, perspective from apologists, and also the existential God from certain understanding. Now, people of God, I want to give a little encounter that I had about a week ago now, as I usually cycle to my journey. So I was returning from a particular journey. I noticed a silver bird waiting at a particular spot. Now, the expectation was for this bird, as he or she noticed my approach, that would be a sense of fear, then cause for departure. But the ironic thing was, the bird didn't move while I was coming until I arrived at the spot that the bird, was at. And as soon as I arrived there, the bird, in a very, very systematic way, took off, begin to ascend up, up, up. And instantly, there's something that really caused my heart to feel that's the mystical encounter there. So, but that is, the bird color wasn't white or wasn't black, it was silver color. So that quickly embraced me with an immense joy. So I thought I'd share that with you, because when we speak about this cosmos, the universe, I am with those perspectives that believe that God is in charge of this cosmos, like apologetics. God is the cause of these operations and this sphere that we are in, and God is in charge of the operation. So I just want to leave that in your spirit to make up your own story, see how you can arrive at that, whether it's a spiritual encounter or a coincidence, but I'll leave that to your discernment, people of God. But the one thing that I took away from that, it kind of brings still brings joy in me each time I remember that. It brings so much joy in me. So, and that kind of brings me to the next level of our discussion, and that is the understanding of apologetics point that God is the cause of this universe, cosmos, and God is still in charge of the operational movement of this cosmos. So, and that really, really makes a lot of sense, because I believe that if, from that perspective, well, God is in charge in planting that or encouraging that bird to stay at that spot, to give me a sense of sensation, a sense of laughter, a sense of joy, as I arrive at that spot where the bird got up. So God is responsible for each and every moment I experience in that action, people of God. I want to really encourage each and every one of us that it is something profound when we encounter the action of God in this universe, in this cosmos, because that kind of brings us to that perspective of apologies, that God is the cause and God is in charge of this movement. And really, many of the ways that God also demonstrates his nature is through giftings. Because I had to come to a conclusion after many years, 40 years of journey in ministry. When I speak ministry, I mean the journey with God. So, because obviously, even when you're a member, when you're just a Christian that attends church, is still a holy institution, is still a responsible teacher of the gospel, whichever capacity you find yourself, is still a potential teacher, potential pastor, potential reverend, etc. and so forth. People of God, I just want us to put on our spirit that we are ambassadors and we are servants of the living God. So, coming back on that, people of God, so that really touched me, and then I lived with that, knowing that God speaks to us in many ways. God speaks to us in our characters. God speaks to us in our dealings with others. God speaks to us in our actions. God speak to us in our dreams. God speak to us in our affairs. God speak to us in our actions. God speak to us in our giftings. God speak to us in the revelations. God speak to us in our ponderings. God speak to us in our giftings. God speak to us in many dimensions. God speak to us because we are so convinced that God is responsible for the creation of this cosmos. And then not just creation of this cosmos, he is in charge of its operation. That's powerful. Now watch this now. There is a two-part to it, because one thing for sure, that God is responsible for creating this universe, according to many understanding, which I'm part of that. But the other part is the subscription, those who subscribe to God's ordinance within the running of this universe. And this is where the apologetic comes in. So who do subscribe to the nature or to the point that God is in charge of the operation of this universe. That's powerful, people of God. So I do believe that God, not only the creator of the universe, he is also in charge of the movement of this universe. Because look at what the Bible says, for instance, the earth is the Lord, and fullness thereof, and them that dwelleth in it. Wow, that's profound. So when we look at it from that perspective, we know that God is fully in charge. I thought that throw back to your spirit to keep on pondering on those things, that we can bring